Okay, Mrs. So I want to thank you for letting me come into your home and working with Christian and Mr. Peters and little Savannah and you, just to get a better idea of where Christian is at in his language abilities. And I'm really grateful that you allowed me into your home to witness these things. So before I get started, how do you think, like, what are your thoughts after going through this assessment process?
Well, it was very overwhelming at first, but I'm thankful that you were very informative and helpful, and you kind of let us know what was going to happen ahead of time, so it wasn't too much of it. But yeah, it was just kind of a whirlwind of emotions because at first I didn't want people in my home. I was like, hey, this is for Christians. So yeah, it was just a lot of emotions going on.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that I was able to gain your trust in that process. I know that it can be, like you said, overwhelming to have strangers coming into your home and observing your family. So, overall, how do you think Christian, how do you think he performed during those assessments? Was it how he would usually communicate? Was there something different that happened that you normally wouldn't have done?
Hmm. I would say it was probably a pretty typical him as far as his communication goes. He was a little shy at first, but he seemed to warm up to you guys pretty quickly. So yeah, I'd say it was pretty typical.
Okay, so I know you know the different assessments that we did were all just at Christian's language. And so through those assessments, I see that Christian has a lot of really good communication skills other than just not being able to verbalize once. So all of the little things that he does that people may not think about as communication, like pointing to things he wants, using his facial expressions, getting your attention and pointing to something to show that he's in something, those are all really good communication skills that I noticed that he's using. And I can kind of show you this communication matrix. I know it looks kind of overwhelming, there's just a lot of boxes, but what it kind of shows you is all that are colored in. These are things that Christian's already doing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he's doing really well. It's just these more complex communication tasks that he can work on to improve his communication skills. So I know that your main concerns are that he can't communicate, so you're nervous about him building relationships, starting school. Where are some areas you would like to focus on in regards to intervention services?
Well, I think I really just want to make sure that if he was if he was hurt, he would be able to loudly proclaim, "I'm injured" or something. Like I want him to be able to really fend for himself.
Yeah, and that's a really good goal to have. I think there are a couple of different ways that we could get there together. One of them being, have you ever heard of alternative or augmentative communication?
No.
Okay, so AAC for acronym. So this can be a system that we use to help Christian in expressing himself. So this could be a device, this could be picture cards, this sign language. There are a lot of different ways that we could go about this to fit you and your family's needs. And these systems are just used to help support the communication he already has. So, like I said, he has a lot of really good communication skills, and an AAC system would just support those skills and help him express himself even more. So, I know that's a whole new concept. What are your thoughts with that?
I mean, I haven't even heard the term before today, so how am I supposed to use it with my son?
Right, so there are specialists who only study these systems, and those people are really good resources that I'll be able to pull in if you're interested in trying one of these systems. And really how it starts is we start small. So first we're doing trial and error, trying to find what works for your family. And then once we find something that does work for everybody, we start using it maybe just at mealtime or maybe just during your morning routine, so everybody can get used to it. And we start with coaching. So you're not thrown in there with this AAC system and expected to know how to use it and be expected to teach your son how to use it. This is really going to be a coaching process. So first, we'll kind of give you examples of different ways that you can use these systems. And then we'll let you try it while we're still there, so you can practice and feel confident in it. And then once you feel confident, you'll be able to use this during your daily life. Or at first, whenever it works, you'll practice it, but then once you and your family practice it more and more, you'll be able to implement it more and more. And so that will give Christian the opportunity to express himself in more ways than what he has right now.
That makes me feel a lot better. And so with these, I don't know, I guess would it be like a small thing or a big thing? That's I guess another one of my concerns is I'm gonna have to lug this everywhere.
Mm-hmm. So it can look a lot of ways. It could be sign language. You could be just implementing, you don't have to learn all of the sign language signs, but it might be we go over a few terms that would be appropriate for him to use that he uses a lot, and maybe learn the signs for those. And then we use those with him, hoping that he catches on and also uses those signs. Or it could be a little book that just has Velcro in it and pictures that have Velcro, so he has the ability to take a picture and show you, I want this, or I don't like this, or whatever it is. All the way up to, there are really high-tech devices that could be implemented if your family's interested, but it's all on what you and Christian can use the best and what works for your family.
Okay, awesome.
Any other concerns about the
No.
AAC?
No.
Okay. Does that sound like something you'd be interested in?
Yes, definitely. I think way to get Christian communicating more is exciting.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And that kind of leads into the second thing I think would be really good for us to do together is to provide Christian more opportunities to communicate than he has now. So, for example, when I was observing you all playing with the papers, it was pretty quiet and you were kind of waiting for Christian to point that he was interested. He did a really good job of going after what he was interested in and talking about it and asking him questions. But we could create an environment that requires him to communicate even more. By do it by withholding objects. So maybe you're playing cars and you have the two cars in your hand and you say, do you want the blue car or the red car? And then he has to somehow express what he wants. So providing him opportunities to express what he wants and choose, it requires him to communicate more than if he already just has the options available to him. Does that make sense?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. And then again, just continuing what you're already doing that's working well by expanding on things that he points out that he's interested in. For example, again, when you were playing with the cars, when he pointed to the red car, for example, you did a good job of saying, yeah, that's the red car, and talking through a little dialogue about it, because that provides Christian with a really good language model. And and that could really help him in developing his language as well.
See, I was just always worried that I was overwhelming him with my just nonchalant jibber jabbering about his cars, but I will allow him to have a little bit more time to speak.
Yeah, and like I said, you did a good job demonstrating, modeling that language, but then you also did a good job of also allowing silence. Sometimes that silence leaves room for Christian to think and then maybe say something that
Okay.
he to produce that language and not just talking at him the whole time. You do a really good job of that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that feedback. It means a lot.
Yeah, of course. So do you have any other concerns moving forward?
Not that I can think of right now.
Okay, well, sounds good. I look forward to seeing you again.
Same goes to you. Thank you.
Thank you.